For this week's report, the landfill solar array construction is underway. Economic Development Director hosts housing tour. Public Work implements intersection improvements on Railroad Ave. Parks and Rec hosts their annual Senior BBQ. And the Select Board discusses a Gaza Cease Fire Resolution and the Pickpocket Dam. For Exeter TV, I'm Gabe, and this is the Exeter Biweekly Report. Let's get started. Installation of the largest municipal solar array in the state is underway at the town transfer station. We met up with town planner Dave Sharples to learn more about the project. Approved both at the 2021 and 2024 town meetings, the landfill solar array project has finally broken ground. Crews have been working since mid-May to bring baskets full of rocks as a top layer of the array, allowing them to rack all of the steel frames on top of the rocks, giving a place to safely lay the solar panels without ever digging directly into the ground. Once completed, the array will produce 1.77 megawatts of energy, making it the largest municipal owned and operated solar array in the state of New Hampshire. The capacity is estimated to offset 92% of the town's current electricity use for municipal buildings, converting this brownfield site from a liability to an asset. We spoke to town planner Dave Sharples about how this project is going so far and what the timeline is moving forward.
Prior to COVID, we voted it in for $3.6 million for the solar array. But then COVID hit. And everyone knows inflation, cost of steel, supply chain issues raised the price of pretty much everything across the board. And in about a 30% increase. So a $3.6 million solar array was now $5.2 million. So we kind of sat on it for a little bit, and then the Investment Reduction Act came into place and took that and provided a 30% credit on the total. So that brought the 30% increase of the inflation up from 3.6 up to 5.2 and then brought it back down. So with that Inflation Reduction Act investment tax credit, or ITC, the project numbers looked good again and we were able to move forward. To the best of my knowledge, this is the largest municipally owned and operated solar array in New Hampshire. In Exeter, we're going to own the system. We own the panels, and we own the electricity and the renewable energy credits, or RECs, that are produced, and we can sell those on the open market. So much different situation than what most municipalities do, and can't thank the voters of Exeter enough that overwhelmingly supported this project. Oh, absolutely, I'm excited for it. It's very rewarding because I see it as we took a liability, a landfill that costs the town money every year to maintain and monitor, and we've put an asset on it that is going to generate electricity for the town and generate funding for the town. So I see it as a win-win.
On June 6th, the first solar panels had finally been installed, marking the first of many to be added to this long overdue process. Exeter, being the new leader in municipal-owned solar energy, will send a message to places far and wide about how we can do our part to make energy more efficient, as well as set an example for taking liabilities and turning them into net positives, such as the landfill. For more information about the solar array and the steps Exeter is taking to become more sustainable, you can visit our website at www.exeternh.gov/planning-sustainability. Hi, I'm Gabe Perez from the future, and this is editing Bob Glowacki, also from the future, Friday, 1 hour before the report comes out, and we realized that we forgot to include a specific intro. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and read you that intro. Exeter's Economic Development Director, Darren Winham, hosted community housing leaders from across the state earlier this week to showcase Exeter's unique approach to addressing housing needs. We attend the event to learn more. Exeter hosted housing planners from across the state on Wednesday the 5th for Planning NH-UNH Cooperative Extension's Housing Academy. The event started off at the site of the Gateway to Exeter project in Epping Road. When finished, it will have 224 units, split between two buildings ranging over a 50,000 square foot total on 17 acres of land. Of those 224 units, a portion of them will be workforce housing that will have rents not exceeding 80% of the area median income, AMI for short, for at least the first 30 years of the project.
Obviously it has to be municipal infrastructure. So what we did was, you probably know there's a light down here called Continental, where Continental Drive is. So we wanted to put water and sewer, town water and sewer and gas from there all the way up to the highway, which is what we did do, and we made a penetration of a private road into a parcel that's on the other side that opened it up for development over there.
We talked with Tom Monahan, the developer behind the project, and asked him how the Gateway to Exeter project got underway.
We asked the zoning board through Doug Eastman for the zoning administrator for a variance for a mixed use, allowing us to put residential in a commercial zone. And they were very favorable to the idea as to the with respect to the location and the fact that we have utilities to the site, water and sewer. It just creates a lot of economic opportunity. Generally, every step of the way, I needed the town's assistance, and they came right to the fore. As we've gone along, it's been a good, wonderful working relationship.
The group met again in the Exeter Town Hall to discuss with each other how they take care of their individual business, such as accessory dwelling units, zoning, and legislation. Following the group meeting, Darren Winham guided attendees on a walking tour through the downtown, highlighting the variety of housing stock Exeter has to offer.
I think there's 13 of them. These are all homes, but this is one parcel, and these are all condos. So we thought this was a pretty unique way to see this site developed in a way that showed density, and you can see they're beautiful. They're a lot closer than other homes, and it's a condo property.
We caught up with Winham after the event to learn more about the housing initiatives and how they connect to economic development.
A lot of times we don't get a chance to see each other in one location, so they do these housing academies here and there, and Exeter was chosen to be the host this time. So regarding Exeter's housing situation, it is dire, just like every other community in the Seacoast. It's very expensive. There's very little stock for sale and for rental, and it needs to be addressed, not just at the municipal level. It's got to be addressed at the statewide level and, frankly, at the federal level. It's a problem that's not going to go away. It is probably the number one economic development issue, and it probably will be for the next 2 decades. So there's a lot of very smart people that are trying to address it, and the hope is that we can start getting on top of it. So like Dover, Exeter is looking at very interesting ways to try to solve the crisis. So the mixed-use neighborhood development zone, which was passed a few years ago and then expanded to C2 this year, we're seeing some results for that and with that. So Exeter is leading the way as one of the communities that are leading the way along with Dover.
To learn more, visit www.exeternh.gov/ed, or you can watch full coverage of our stuff on YouTube at Exeter TV, Facebook, Instagram, or on Comcast channels 8 and 6. Construction has been underway at the intersection of Winter Street, Columbus Ave, and Railroad Ave. We spoke with Public Works Director Steve Cronin about the project.
The intersection of Winter Street, Columbus Ave, and Railroad Ave is one of multiple intersections selected for improvements through Article 5 of the 2023 Town Warrant. We spoke to Public Works Director Stephen Cronin about the work being done.
So the town maintains a list of high priority intersections that are typically based on safety concerns or congestion. The Winter Street, Columbus, Railroad Ave intersection in particular, there are some safety concerns there regarding sight distances and turning movements. In the short term, we've decided to make some minor modifications to the intersection geometry. The implementation of curb bump outs and relocation of stop signs and stop bars to allow motorists to see better in both directions to be able to navigate the intersection better.
The other intersection improvement is a roundabout on Front Street at the intersection of Linden and Pine Street. The project is still in the design and planning phase.
There are a number of other intersection improvement projects that are currently in design, including a potential roundabout on Front Street. We're currently looking at multiple alternatives right now. and working with abutting property owners to address some of the concerns and parking in that area. So more to come on that project over the next few months.
To stay up to date on these construction projects, follow Public Works on Facebook, subscribe to their email newsletter, or visit the town website.
Exeter Parks and Recreation held their annual Senior Summer Kickoff Barbecue in the Exeter Town Hall last Friday. Bob Glowacki stopped by the event to learn more about how Parks and Rec is providing programming for all.
Town staff manned the food line as seniors came together to enjoy good food, music, and conversation at the 2024 Senior Summer Kickoff Barbecue.
It's great to see you all. Enjoy the food. Let us know your feedback too, and we hope to see you soon at a future program or event. We have our brochures and resource guides up at the front too. Thank you.
Select Board member Nancy Belanger volunteered to help out at the event.
Just wanted to thank Parks and Rec and all the sponsors and all the volunteers and all the people that signed up to come out for the senior barbecue. It's a wonderful thing to see community action in progress, and specifically I want to thank Parks and Rec for all the work they're doing to include seniors in our programming.
Assistant Parks and Rec Director turned reporter David Tovey interviewed two attendees about the event and senior programming.
I'm here with two lovely ladies at Exeter Town Hall for our senior barbecue today. Is this your first barbecue?
Yes, my first barbecue. Yes.
Oh, well, I've been to a couple of them and the Valentine's dance and stuff. They're so much fun.
Awesome. And what do you enjoy about them?
Oh, just meeting different people from town. Food's always good. The desserts are great.
Love to hear that. How about any other programs or trips? Have you ever joined us for the Parks and Rec Department on those?
I've not done trips, but I got involved with the walking programs. And now there's indoor walking and outdoor walking, thanks to David. There's indoor walking at the Phillips Exeter Academy track on Tuesday mornings and outdoor walking on Thursday mornings. And good group of friends that have built up over the time. It's been going on for years.
Just love meeting the people and taking advantage of the nice things that the town offers and that type of thing, and meeting you guys.
Exactly.
So it's been a win-win all the way.
Yeah, and there's so many things offered specifically for senior citizens. That's what I think is wonderful. Parks and Rec has a lot to do with the youth, and I appreciate that so much attention is given us to the oldsters. It's good.
Well, we appreciate your time today, and I look forward to seeing you both at walking and future luncheons and hopefully some trips too.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
To stay up to date with all things Parks and Rec, be sure to sign up to their email newsletter, follow them on social media, and check out their website, exeternh.gov/recreation.
And finally, Will Tapley has a recap of the Select Board's discussion on the Gaza Resolution and the Pickpocket Dam from our Meeting Minute series.
Welcome to your Meeting Minute for the Exeter Select Board's May 28th meeting. The board returned to the discussion from the last meeting about the conflict in Gaza. Dr. Karishma Manzur spoke on behalf of the many concerned citizens who were present.
We did submit a resolution last 2 weeks ago, and thank you very much for taking the time to consider it. We have now revised it as a proclamation. Hopefully that will answer some of the questions that two of the board members had. The Select Board of Exeter recognizes that all human life is precious, and all people have a right to live with dignity, feel safe, and be respected, regardless of nationality, race, or religion. There is no justification for stopping food and water to Gaza. No justification to starving 2 million people.
After a very thorough conversation amongst board members, I think all of whom agreed not only with what was submitted before us, but certainly the testimony that we heard from everybody that came up was incredibly moving. I think the conversation towards the end of the deliberation was whether or not this is a select board, whether this is within the purview of the select board, because typically I think as Selectman Chartrand so astutely commented, that typically this is done in a citizen's petition that goes on the warrant for voters to take up.
When it comes to mentions of how money is spent and how it's taxed and levied, I really feel that is the voters' purview, and I don't think the board can make comments on that. And then I did revise the now, therefore, we to bring it back just to the board and not to involve any other public servants. I felt very strongly that we're speaking for ourselves and urging the world and not particular individuals.
I don't remember us doing something for other wars that have escalated that we all feel very strongly about, or at least I know I do. I just struggle with this. It's not that I disagree with this. It's personally, as a select board member, is where I struggle.
It is our jobs as human beings to stand together and speak up. We are coming to you, our representatives of the town of Exeter, asking you to help our voices be heard, to stand on the side of humanity. Throughout history, it is the silence of leaders that has made violent acts possible, and it is the silence that allows them to continue.
You know, we are all responsible for our own traumas and our own beliefs and to take care of those. However, I don't think this is a decision for you to make. I just don't think it's yours.
We might say, oh, this doesn't affect us. This isn't an American issue. This isn't a town issue. But it sets a precedent if we say, no, we were complicit. We allowed our money to be spent on weapons that hurt people. We allowed our government to be complicit in a genocide.
The board decided to table the decision to their next meeting to allow Selectwoman Molly Cowan to be able to participate in the vote and discussion. Jake San Antonio from engineering firm VHB presented the feasibility study data on Pickpocket Dam. All possibilities for addressing the dam's letter of deficiency were presented to the board. The public was invited to speak on the topic.
I spent a lot of time on the river as a young child and as an adult. I used the river. I've used it for decades. My children have also used it. So I know how beautiful it is. I also know what a valuable asset that is.
How long will it take for the sediment to sort of settle and either wash downstream? I don't know what I'm talking about,
sure.
But I'm hoping you're understanding what I'm saying. I mean, how long does it take to flush the thing out is what I'm trying to say. What would you guess?
5 to 10 years to reach a new equilibrium.
Okay, and how would, within the first 5 years, how would it affect life in the river with that sediment suddenly starting to come down? I know you're going to remove some if you take the dam out, but how does it affect the life in the river?
It's actually healthy for the river.
Oh, okay.
Sediment-starved rivers are not as healthy.
Okay.
And it's part of the reasons why that lower reaches are impaired. I mean, I think the Great Dam is a great example, right? That was removed in 2016.
Yep.
So it's been 8 years since that's been removed.
Okay.
You know, the wetlands upstream, the river has recovered. You know, those wetland areas did take a few years of transition, but you know, they're more diverse and lush than they were prior to the dam being removed.
I'm here today to lend a voice to those who cannot be here. 257 people to be exact as of this morning. I have a petition on change.org to save the dam. The people who signed it are supporting keeping the dam where it is. My opinion is 257 people who signed this petition should be considered.
The board tabled their decision to a later meeting. To watch the full meeting, visit our Exeter TV YouTube page. The next select board meeting is slated for June 10th. See you there.
That does it for this week's report. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to help us spread the word. And head over to the town website and subscribe to the town's email newsletter to get this show and other town news sent straight to your inbox. We'll be back on June 21st for the next edition of the show. For Exeter TV, I'm Gabe Perez, and this has been the Exeter Biweekly Report. Have a good weekend, Exeter.
There we go.